Now to a family who says they are fed up with their neighbor.
Yeah, they tell us this neighbor has called 911 on them more than 20 times in the past 5 months. They say they moved into the Summerwood subdivision last November and believe the neighbor is sending them a not-so-subtle message that they are not welcome.
Marcelino Benito is live in the neighborhood tonight with this exclusive story. Marcelino.
Well, guys, this family says they have been harassed for months, and tonight we finally know the Precinct 3 Constable's office is taking a look and investigating. Every time the music turns up,
it's 7 in the morning, y'all.
And Javon Cofield decides to invite family over to his own house, one of his neighbors calls the cops.
They've been out here 17 times.
17. We checked, and actually it's been even more than that. The Precinct 3 Constable's office tells us they've responded to more than 20 noise complaint calls made by Javon's neighbor.
Oh, it's worse every time.
But Precinct 3 tells us Javon and his family have never done anything wrong.
I feel like I'm being harassed by the person that's making the calls.
The call started when he moved into the Summerwood subdivision last November.
Hey, man, we Facebook Live once again. My neighbors done called the laws on me.
He started documenting each time deputies showed up.
It's so bad the family's used to them coming. The family greet them. Hey, how you doing? Okay, back to playing cards.
But now, he says, things have gone too far. Javon feels targeted, trapped, and discriminated against in his own home.
They don't want me here if you've been called out 17 times.
Precinct 3 confirmed to us where the calls were coming from, so we paid that neighbor a visit to get some answers. The man said he didn't want to talk about that with me. But now Precinct 3 involved in looking into what's behind this neighbor's series of bogus calls against Javon and his family.
It needs to stop. Enough is enough, man. That's all I'm saying.
Now, our legal analyst says there are options for people that may be going through this type of thing. He says you can try to seek a temporary restraining order against your neighbor or even hire a lawyer and try suing him or her for slander. We're live in the Summerwood subdivision tonight. I'm Marcelino Benito.
In Chicago, we talked with a group of whites who call themselves lower middle class. They are worried about Negroes moving into their neighborhood.
And they are not responsible citizens. Until they live like we are, we don't want them.
I don't want them to live with me, to tell you the truth. Whether they take care of it or not, I don't want to live with them. Because they ran away from them. And if I wanted to live with them, I wouldn't be paying high taxes like I am. I would have stayed where I was.
More than half of whites in our survey believe Negroes are more likely than whites to run down their own neighborhoods.
In the South, they throw the garbage out of the window and the pigs come and eat it. Here they throw the garbage out of the window and no pigs come and eat it.
In general, are Negroes as civilized as whites? 43% of whites said no, Negroes are not as civilized.
It's his image that he's building. They act like savages, like animals. They kill each other, they rape and they rob. There's a riot, well, they wouldn't burn their own places. They had signs all over. Soul Brother. It made no difference. They robbed, raped, plundered, looted their own people.
What about the way Negroes care for their children? About 1/4 of whites say that Negroes are less likely than whites to take good care of their children.
The colored woman does not take care of her child, does not help to educate this child. There's no problem about it. They're ADC. The more children they can have, the more money they get to go out and play the lottery. They get more money to go out and drink a little more gin. But to take care of their children, they put a pair of shoes on them. I blame the mother for not educating her child when they're born, from the day they're born till the day they grow up.
Lower intelligence. 1 out of 4 whites also believe Negro children are more likely to hold back the class.
When you were in school, your mother made sure you did your homework before you went out. A colored child, if mother and father don't care if they ever do their homework.
And I feel that this is why the white child is so much more superior to the colored. And not because the colored child doesn't want to learn. It's because there's nobody behind him pushing him.
Lower intelligence. About 1 white in 7 agrees that Negroes have lower intelligence at birth than whites.
We're not all created equal. And as far as intelligence, there is a little book called Breeding Down, and it says in there where the colored is born with an IQ, not born, but it develops, to 80 plus, and the white is 90 and up.
About half of whites polled said they do not think most fellow whites want the Negro to have equality.
They don't desire an education of our type. They have different music. They have a different way of dressing. They have different schools or different churches. Their religion is different. Everything is different.
Sympathetic to the Negro, 38% of whites said they do not think other whites are sympathetic to the problems of the Negro.
I don't want to help them. I don't want to help them. And I don't want them living next door to me for the simple reason that there might be a lot of nice ones, but I got 4 kids, and I don't want them growing up with colored next door to them. Because it's a proven fact. They grow up, they think nothing of each other, they play together, pretty soon they're in their teens, they start dating, and pretty soon they're marrying. I don't want my kids marrying a colored person.
They'll ruin the neighborhood. Ever been in the home of a black American family? Come on in. Living room or parlor. Kitchen. And dining area. My parents' bedroom. Mine's kind of messy. Bathroom, of course. Backyard. Garage. It's really about the same as any other home when the father makes about $10,000 to $12,000 a year. It takes the usual amount of cleaning, washing, dusting, waxing, sprinkling, mowing, and little repairs to keep it that way. Unfortunately, most homes in the black community don't have husbands and fathers or enough income for the mothers to stay home and take care of them. So obviously their homes won't look as good as this one. Also, when some people feel that life is too much for them, they get discouraged and give up on taking care of things, especially when rats and roaches and crumbling walls and ceilings are the best the majority of black families can afford.
Black Americans are expected to overcome the discouragement and humiliation of white racism outside the ghetto. They are also expected to rise above the dead-end poverty and hopelessness of life in the ghetto.